My first question would be, do you conceive yourself as a pilgrim?
Yeah, I do. I think that's why I called the book that.
In what way?
But I mean, we all are. We're all moving through space and time. We're moving through our experiences. We're moving through our minds. We move through our ideas. Nothing is static. It's
Always
impossible.
changing, impossible.
Well, there's nothing there to begin with, so there's nothing to hold on to. It's just an idea. It's just a concept. It's just pieces of dreams. You know, so this sense of movement and experiencing the spectacle of the world is something we all do.
Nothing is real.
Animals do, everyone does.
Emotions are real or they're not real? What about emotions?
They have
what
effect,
about feelings?
but they're not ultimately real any more than emotions and dreams are real.
You as an actor, you work with emotions, no? That's
Yeah, that's
like
my
a
life,
second,
yeah.
like a
some
second
people,
skin,
like
no?
tennis player works on his forehand and his backhand.
But your emotions,
An actor's about emotions.
your work
yeah.
is to you work with emotions and to create emotions in the rest of the people, and that's not real.
Well, you're talking about very different ideas of reality. There's a relative reality and there's an absolute reality. Of course, in relative reality, we all function, you know, as if cause and effect were real. And there you are, of course, and our cameraman is there, and this cameraman is here, and the light stand is there, and we're in a room.
Okay.
In a relative sense, absolutely.
Okay.
But in a complete absolute sense, of course, there's nothing there. Physics tell us that, science tells us that, common sense tells us that everything is in a state of constant change and transformation.
How did you get involved in Tibet and its people and the Buddhist spiritual practice? I mean, I know, and we all know, you've been deeply involved in humanitarian issues. But how did you get involved?
You know, I was quite young, and I was, I think from fairly early on, I was quite a dreamer. And I can remember at night going out to my backyard, excuse me, and lying in the grass and looking up in the stars. And that made me feel very comfortable. The vastness of the universe was something that I actually liked. I think that scares some people. You know, they like confined places. But the idea that the world was so vast and infinite actually somehow was, it somehow lessened this idea of me, the idea of
yourself,
my
right?
situation, my problems, you know, in the vastness of the universe, these are really
Yeah, I
very
know.
small
When
things.
one is young, we have a lot of questions, no? And not many answers. And maybe we go through certain
I still don't
stage.
have any answers. Do
Yeah,
you have any answers?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Give me
I'm
some
still
answers.
looking
I'm
for
still
the answers.
looking.
But maybe that led you to Buddhism?
Oh, of
and
course.
to find answers?
Well, hey, look, Buddhism started with the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni, was trying to unlock the answers to the question of why do people suffer? Why do they live and die? Why do they grow old? Why are there problems? What is the nature of this universe? So, I mean, that's the same questions everyone asks. Some people go, I'll look at it and go, who cares?
And many other people.
And then some people
would
just keep looking and looking and looking.
See. I'm one of those.
You keep looking.
I keep looking.
Yeah.
But it's tiring. No?
It's tiring, but it's also energizing because you're dealing with what we were intended to do.
When you just met His Holiness the Dalai Lama, what did you feel? Do you remember? I mean, it's been a long time ago, but this first connection.
You know, I think it was a good time to meet him because I was actually a student of Zen Buddhism, and my teachers were Japanese.
Okay.
And Zen Buddhism is its own style. It's Tibetan style is quite different, but there is a form of Tibetan Buddhism called Dzogchen. Dzogchen is a highest yoga tantra form.
Okay.
But it's quite similar in many ways to Zen Buddhism or Chan Buddhism. And so anyhow, that's where my orientation was. I really didn't know that much about the Dalai Lama, although I had a very strong impulse to go see him.
Okay.
So when I met him, of course, I knew that he was an extraordinary man, but I didn't have built up a romantic vision of him very much.
Really? No?
I mean, I was I went way out of my way. It was in monsoon season in northern India, and it wasn't easy to get to in those days. It was a long train ride, and it was very unpleasant in monsoon time. It just rains constantly. And I remember meeting him and feeling his utter simplicity. You know, he didn't think he was anything special. And clearly he was only there to help me in some way. And that's very rare. We see in our world that really someone there
wants to
just
help
for you.
Yeah, I know.
You know? So,
Yeah.
and you do feel that immediately when someone is not self-conscious, but they're really thinking, how can I help this person? How can I help this person? I wish you to be happy. I wish you happiness in this life and all future lives and all these. And it's like they're sending dakinis and angels and pouring magical elixirs on you, and you feel that, of course, when someone is intoxicated with those kind of thoughts.
And how's your relationship nowadays with him? I know he's your teacher. He must be your guru.
Sure.
And your friends, you're very close. How's the
yeah.
relationship?
Well, we have different kinds of relationships. He's my spiritual teacher. He's
Is he
my
always very
good friend.
kind with you? Or
Sorry?
Is he always very kind with you, or he can get
Sometimes
tough?
he's a little rough.
Is he?
Yeah, but I think any good teacher has to be rough sometimes with students. He has a wonderful sense of humor, but he also has, you know, his moments when he's trying to figure out the best thing to do and takes advice. You know, he always follows his own instincts. But we also have a relationship about how to organize things. You know, we've been able to organize many teachings with the Dalai Lama all over the world, and
Richard,
many different kinds of events.
Do you teach already or no?
I'm sorry?
Do you teach Buddhism?
Do I?
Yeah.
No. I would never do that.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, it's too confusing for me and for other people.
Why? I mean, you should be able to.
It's
know.
enough being a movie actor, you know, with all the projections.
Okay.
So it's too much to get involved with that. Of course, if someone asks me about my experiences or, you know, kind of something that might help them, of course I'm going to answer. Okay. But I never set myself up as a teacher, ever, never.
Never?
Never.
And you're very... Why do you think people feel so much attracted and fascinated by Buddhism and Tibet thing, but we're not... I mean, we have failed in doing something for Tibet, for example, but we are very attracted by the...
Well, the last time I was there, we were in a football stadium. Well, I think there must have been 30, 40,000 people there.
Wow.
And it was, you could hear a pin drop.
Wow.
It was so quiet, and everyone's thoughts were elevated. You know, this feeling of interconnectedness, this feeling of genuine kindness was permeating 40,000 people. I don't think at a football game you get that same feeling.
No, you don't.
But this was a...
You're a baseball fan, no?
I'm a baseball fan, yeah. It was kind of an amazing event, and there was a moment at the end. It had been organized so that leaders of many different religions were also on the stage with His Holiness, including indigenous people. And that's, I like to see that too. His Holiness likes to see that. That this is not a separation. This is like all religions and philosophies and spirit working together. We're all trying to do the same thing. And the basis of that is obviously love and compassion, nonviolence, and caring, genuinely caring about others. Selflessly is the goal. But there was a moment where a mariachi band came on at the end. And I'm thinking to myself, ooh, maybe this is a little
Too loud.
over the top. So they started singing, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was not sure if this was going to work. And everyone in the stadium started singing to His Holiness. And then His Holiness started singing too.
Wow.
And kind of swaying. He had the biggest smile on his face, enjoyed it so much. And they just kept singing and playing together. And you really had this sense of, these kind of emotions are really possible, you know.
And are genuine. It's not, I mean, it's not fashion, it's not a fad, it's not fashion.
You can't buy that. You can't force it. You can't get that with the muzzle of a gun. You can't get that with a whip. You can only get that with genuine compassion from the heart. That's all. That's the only way you can get that. But His Holiness does have that effect. I've seen him in many situations, countless situations all over the world, and it's always the same.
How do you manage to come and go from these two dramatically different worlds, no? You said...
It's all the same world. It's all the same, yeah.
Like this, you said before, I'm a movie actor, so this is like very mundane, no? Ego, vanity.
It's all the same.
And then this other world of...
It's all the same. It's what you bring to it. It's all the same.
It's what you bring with yourself?
It's what your frame of mind.
Isn't it a little bit crazy to come and go?
Look, do you think the Dalai Lama is different in this situation or sitting in meditation? No, he's the same. It's no different. You're still dealing with the same issues. Whether you're sitting in the cave and working with your mind, where you're rooting out all the negative emotions of self-cherishing and jealousy and anger and hatred and pride and blah, blah, or you do it in the world. We're all dealing with the same things,
In a different way.
We're all dealing.
We're all dealing. Why did you choose Buddhism among many other religions? You were raised Christian? Or?
Yeah.
Why Buddhism?
You know, it seemed fearless to me. It seemed fearless and rational. At the same time, there was a willingness to embrace irrational mysteries. Buddhism really is about responsibility.
Commitment, responsibility.
No, the responsibility. We're responsible for our experience of the world, our experience of ourselves. There's no one else. You can't pray to a God that is going to fix everything. I mean, it's not rational. You do the work to work on your mind. It's the quality of your mind. I see my mind. I experience my mind. This is an experience of a projection of my mind. And if we want to change the projection, you have to change your mind. And that takes work. But you're the one who's responsible to do it. There's no one else who can wave a magic wand and fix that. Not the Buddha, not Jesus Christ, nobody.
Nobody but ourselves.
You have to do the work. You have to want that. You have to understand it, want it, do the work. Or you want to be able to, I don't know, play basketball. You have to want it. You have to practice. You have to make shots every day, spend hours doing it. And eventually you get pretty good at it. But it's the same working with the mind and the heart. You have to do it. You have to do the work.
How's your head? How's your heart? How's your soul nowadays? How do you feel?
I think I become a better version of myself all the time, I hope.
Well, that's very good news. How do you accomplish that?
But I don't think I become something else, you know. I think it does. I think we all hopefully become a better version of what we are.
When you see yourself in the mirror, you like what you see?
I don't look in the mirror, believe me.
Yeah. You should do it. You should do it. You're great.
No interest.
No?
No.
Never self-conscious of how good looking you are? You're not
Why would I think about that?
No?
I don't think about these
because
things.
you are. I mean, you
Well,
just,
I thank you. That's very kind.
but you don't care.
Not really, no.
Do you care about money, possessions? How do you disattach from all these things?
I have a monk friend of mine who grew up in a very, very sophisticated family and world. very sophisticated. And I mean, knows fine fabrics, knows fine art. He's also a photographer, he knows fine photography. And he now is a monk, and he has, you know, nylon robes, not fine cashmere,
No, not cotton,
fine
but
cotton.
nylon.
It's nylon. You know, he has, like, you know, rubber
Whatever, yeah.
shoes he wears and blah, blah, blah. But he knows the difference. His mind is sophisticated, and he has a subtle way of interacting with reality. He knows the difference, but he doesn't pick and choose. I mean, the question is what your mind is, the subtlety of your mind, the sensitivity of your mind and your heart. It's not about possessions. I mean, possessions go, they're gone. We live maybe 100 years at the most.
And maybe you have them and maybe
gone.
you don't.
The quality of your mind keeps on, that keeps going. That's the wave that continues away from you. It's the quality of your mind, the quality of your heart. Now, fine things, yes. I mean,
You
she's
like
a
them?
beautiful woman.
Thank you
There.
very much. Thank you.
Of course, I appreciate that.
You like art, now that you
Of
said
course.
art?
You know, and I have beautiful things. You know, I've been very lucky. I've been very fortunate that I could have beautiful things, but I really don't, and I appreciate them wherever I see them. If it's a museum or
Yeah,
in
that's
front
what I
of me
wanted to
or
ask you.
where, maybe.
Where do you find beauty?
Where do I find it?
Where do you find beauty? What? Yeah.
You find it anywhere. Anywhere. You know, I walked into this room and there were these very nice people here. There was a very nice woman who met me when I walked in. She was, you know, was basically, oh, nice to see you from the eyes. Mm-hmm. Great. That was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Of course, it came right back to her. I met your nice cameramen here. They were very nice. We said hello. We're having a nice conversation.
I hope you are.
So this isn't a waste of time. This is all very nice.
But many times we're not conscious of that, and we just let the time pass us by because we don't appreciate this is a beautiful time. We give it for granted, no, a little bit.
Sure we do.
Yeah.
But we also, you know, we're thinking about what we want rather than
We have to
the
learn
moment.
to appreciate more, no?
Everything is to be appreciated. Everything. There's a saying, a Zen saying, that in making a choice, the mind creates heaven and hell.
Oh, I see.
When we say, this is beautiful, that's ugly. This is tall, that's short. This is black,
Heaven
it should be red. It's ba-bum, ba-bum. You're creating conceptual hell for yourself.
How do you use Dharma in your everyday life, in a daily basis? It's made you, this practicing Buddhism has made you a better person, a better father, a better son, a better brother.
His Holiness asked me that once. He said, has this practice been good for you? I laughed. This is, yeah. And I thought about him, and you know, I don't get as angry as I used to. I know I'm more patient than I used to. I know I'm less self-conscious than I used to be. I mean, these are all good things, especially anger in our world. Not to be so quick to anger.
We're very neurotic, no?
Huh?
We are very neurotic people.
You are, not
I
me.
am. You are not? You learn to manage that? How do you do that?
Your
Meditating
cameraman
every
is
day?
saying, yes, she is.
He just met me. He just met me. But I am. I'm telling you. I confess myself. I am very neurotic. Really. How do you?
No, we all are. Of course we are,
Yeah, of
because
course
we all
we are.
suffer.
But how do you
and
deal with
suffering
them?
is a, you know, we all have a mental illness that we care too much about ourselves.
Of course, we all are. You have your piece of neuroticness. But how do you deal with that?
Deal with what?
You're less anger. How did you learn to do that?
Well, you have
Meditating is a good tool.
Well, there are
for
many
example.
different ways to meditate. But
For
essentially,
beginners.
even to just, there's analytical meditation, you can actually just, in watching the processes of the mind and parsing those processes, you just see how anger comes from a false idea of a self. You know, we think that what we see, we believe our senses too much, essentially. We believe that we are, the universe is what we see and what we hear and what we smell and taste and touch, and that's about it. That's the information we get and the level of our brain that we usually function with. And that basically tells us there's a self, and then there is this universe out there that we perceive with the senses, and they're separate. But that's the basic illusion that creates a lot of problems. There really is no separation. It's that everything is interconnected, relative. We all swim in the same sea. We are of the same sea. You know, it's like our blood. Our blood is the same salt content as the ocean. And it's the same with our minds. We're all intermingled. You know, and in some sense, we're making love with the universe all the time. We don't know it, but we are. It's that intimate, everything that goes on. But this idea of separation, that there is an out there and in here, makes me start to protect the idea of me. So if someone threatens, or something threatens this idea of me, of course anger starts to come up. If you break down this hard idea of me, of the self, then you don't get that explosion of defensiveness, which that quick arousal of anger and hatred.
Any fears?
The fear of wasting time.
Too precious.
Yeah, you only get so much with this body. So I say, maybe 100 years if you're lucky.
Very lucky.
My father's 91, so.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
And he's still, I talked to him yesterday.
Wow.
How is he? He still plays golf. I say that plays. I don't know how well he plays.
It doesn't matter.
But he plays, he says he plays 9 holes with his golf friends. And they're all in their 80s or early 90s.
Wow.
One of them doesn't play anymore. He just rides the golf cart and he putts.
Really? Wow.
So he's quite an extraordinary guy, my dad.
Wow. You spend time with him?
Sure.
Yeah? Wow. 91, you said? So it's...
My mother's going to be 89 in a few days.
Also?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So your fear would be to waste time. Yeah, the ride goes too soon, no? Here.
It's all precious. It's all precious. Every moment is an opportunity. An opportunity to get better, to get rid of the junk, and be open to the good things that are being presented all the time. Yoko Ono had a wonderful, I think it's when John Lennon met Yoko Ono. She had an exhibit of her artwork, and she was doing conceptual artwork at that time. And there was a ladder set up in the center of the gallery. And John Lennon went up the steps of this tall ladder to the ceiling of this high, and he looked up there, and there was a little piece of paper up there, and he went up there and he looked at it, and he got closer and up there, and it just said, yes. And he started laughing. And he looked around, where's this artist? And there was Yoko. And he said, we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. And the universe is basically saying yes, if you will hear it. It's always saying yes.
We have to open our senses then, no? All of our senses?
Well, the senses,
no.
I don't think so. Senses are fine, but they lie to us.
Our mind, our heart.
Yeah. There's an innate knowing that is beyond the senses.
Are you looking forward to go to Mexico?
Yeah, sure.
You're gonna be there for how long?
Oh, just a few days, because I'm in the middle of preparing a movie right now. So, in fact, if I hadn't made a commitment to go there to Tony Karam, I probably would have said, but I made a commitment to him and to His Holiness, so I'm happy to go there. I just wish I had more time.
Yeah. Do you enjoy acting? You never thought of giving it up, acting?
No, I like doing it. I like doing it. In this life, I'm an actor. I'm an actor. I'm a movie guy. I like it.
A movie star, a celebrity.
That I don't know, but I'm a movie guy. I make movies.
Are you prepared for your next act?
My what?
Your next act? Your next
do you mean?
act? Your next life? You're
My next
preparing
life?
yourself for that, for your next act?
You know, from the point of view of Buddhism, to achieve a human body is extremely rare. And I don't want to waste this opportunity.
This is it. So thank you very much, Richard. I hope to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Maybe we'll meet in Mexico.
Maybe.
I'll be looking forward.
You're living down there?
Yeah, I live there. I just came to
You just came for
talk
this?
to you. Yeah.
Ah,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I didn't
no,
realize
I appreciate
that.
it.
I thought maybe you
And
were
I'm-
a stringer here in
No.
New York.
No. I'm leaving tomorrow, actually. So
Okay,
I
great.
just came for this.
All right, so you're going to be there for these teachings?
Yes, of course. I'm
Okay,
going to be
good.
talking to His Holiness, the
Great.
Dalai Lama. We're going to do
Great.
something nice, I hope.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.